Well, again, this is Wayne Dybel. I want to thank you for joining me. Just some sit-down talks, I guess, just to think a little bit about how Jesus Christ can be personal to us today. We hear this all the time. If you've been in church, even if you've left church, maybe one of the reasons was it just didn't add up. Talking about Emmanuel, God with us, but not really having an experience, a personal experience of God, where He knows you and you know Him. Doesn't matter if we sing the words, doesn't matter if we read the words, it just matters if those words find a place in our hearts and minds. And so that's how I'm going to share some of my journey. A title for this whole series could be called Loose Ends. And that's what you see behind me are images from all of the pieces. But you see these ribbons kind of reminding us there are loose ends in our lives. Think of these ribbons also perhaps as being reminders, like remember this, remember that. And we're going to try and focus on some of those as we talk. We started with, it's amazing how the one man gets around. Behind me, there's an image of Jesus there in the center. A lot of my art takes some kind of root from the 60s and the 70s when I grew up. So that image is a famous image worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's by, now I won't get his name. Of course, by Andy Warhol. Very famous artist in the 60s. We're going to look at some of his work and you can try and figure out with me, how can a Mickey Mouse print or a Marilyn Monroe silkscreen print like you'd find on a t-shirt or one of John Wayne, how could it be worth $80 million? Those are loose ends. I simply don't know. Incredible. But we're going to go ahead and kind of walk our way talking about how God created the world, how it is a huge, massive God that created the universe out of absolutely nothing. He spoke the word. And when he spoke the word, the universe came, as Lou Giglio will say, came shooting out of his mouth at 185,000 miles per hour, the speed of light. And there was the universe. We're going to talk about that God and how he sent Jesus to this world. It's not going to be a big Jesus talk. It's going to be, let's wrestle with what the realities are, what the Bible teaches. And of course, if you know me, you know I've been a Christian since I was about 16. So that's a pretty long time here. I've been a youth pastor. I served as a church planner for a short period of time, pastored different churches. But I've always been about, let's make sure that this comes through in my own life. What does it mean that God loves me personally? So we're going to look on these things. We're going to talk about the honesty. Bono's going to join us for a couple minutes and talk about why honesty is so important in the Christian life. We're going to give Albert Einstein his say to talk about why imagination is so important and how it can even be more important than just pure knowledge by itself. And then we're going to take some time and listen to some other voices.